Welcome to this week's episode of Relly and Deli podcast. I'm Relly.
And I'm Deli.
And today, the movie is Alice, starring Keke Palmer.
Hey,
Alice,
that's crazy.
What it's about?
You set up one way and you go the other
Cut
way.
Afro, super black.
From the trailer. Ooh. Yes. So today we are talking about Alice. As Relly mentioned, it is starring Keke Palmer. I don't recall us ever watching a trailer for this. If we did, I must have forgotten completely because I don't remember any of the stuff that goes on in here happening. Yeah. So let's jump into a little bit of a synopsis here. So Alice is a period piece thriller starring Keke Palmer, as said before, as an enslaved woman on a Georgia plantation. Alice manages to escape to discover it's actually 1973, not the 1800s. Talk about that. So it's a period piece, but not the one you think. You know, it's still in the past. But so now Alice is out for revenge. And I was like, oh wow, because all I remember is the poster with her and the gun and the afro. I'm like, oh, this is the 70s. And that's an era that I really, really love. I mean, if you don't know, now you know I have a huge afro. It's a decent size. Show the link. Anyway, so, I've always loved that aesthetic. So that's all I remember. And so this movie started and I'm like, I didn't think it was gonna be like this. Cause we're on a plantation. I'm like, oh my God. And she's a slave. Like, what is this? And so yeah, that's the whole gag of it all. I don't know if that's in the trailer or not, but it's in the synopsis that I found online. It's in the synopsis that I've written. So here we are. The big thing to know about this is that it is inspired by a true story. I looked it up. May Louise Walls Miller, this happened to her. She didn't get her freedom until 1961. And she ran away from the plantation that she was on, and she was found by a family that rescued her and her family. It's horrible. It's it's unfathomable. And there's a great, detailed article on her online, but we're not getting to all that here, but it is inspired by a true story. So I had to definitely look into that. I'm like, what? But yeah, and the sad truth is that May Louise probably is not the only one that this happened to. But yeah, through a series of circumstances, they ended up essentially being slaves to these people. But this movie is directed by Kristen Verlinden. I couldn't really find much as far as movies for her. This is listed American Roulette and Hawk. Alice seems to be her directorial debut. And she has her own little social media and everything. Kristen does, but I didn't do too deep of a dive into that. I just looked to see what her previous work has been done. I think she also wrote this. So I mean, Kristen is for the people. She is racially ambiguous. I couldn't really see exactly what her race was there, but she's for the people.
Right.
So I feel good about that. Now that we got a little synopsis and stuff out of the way, as you guys know, here we break it down into 4 categories. We have story, acting and dialogue, cinematography, and sound design. So I am ready to go ahead and jump into the story of it all. So, like I said, this is based on a true story, but it's a fictionalized version. Because something tells me that May Louise did not come back and fuck up the plantation like this. But I need to look into that. But I ended up giving the story a 10. Because for one, it's based on, someone's life. Inspired by someone's life. And it just shines a light on just the atrocities that we've gone through. I mean, really, I know you thought you were going to get through Black History Month without dealing with no slave shit, but here we is. And mentally, again, I was like, I don't remember this being set in the 1800s. I remember her being with the afro and a gun, doing justice. But, here we are. So, yeah, but in that way, it's very much like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it takes a horrific event or a horrific time, and it gives it a fictionalized, more triumphant ending. Right. I think. So yeah, we start off with a run. She running through the woods and everything. Great visuals here. We'll get into the cinematography later. I think one of the big things that really stuck out to me was in the story, like the challenge of trying to catch her up, or let her not even catch her up. This is the only life she's ever known. So it's not even like, oh, she thought it was still 1800, and now that she knows it's 1970, oh, she's like, oh, all this stuff is here. You have to like really like teach her, and I like the way they handled that with the various articles. It's very convenient, you know, her meeting Common and everything. But yeah, just the challenge of having to catch her up, that right there just seems so overwhelming to me. Just to kind of fill her in and educate her, and then they also kind of teeter on this topic of immigrants being the new slaves. Where Common is in business with his brother or works for his brother, but he has I think they're Latino friends that work with his brother. They work on like this farm, this blackberry situation, and he accuses Common's friends of like stealing blackberries, and like he says like, you know how they are,
right?
You know, so it's kind of like teetering on that, you know, like the immigrants or, you know, people of these people are the new slaves, quote unquote.
Right.
But I thought those were two really good points in the story. I mean, it's a tale of revenge, so really can't go wrong with a tale of revenge.
Yeah.
What did you give the story?
I teeter.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ultimately landed on like an 8. Mm-hmm. For the story, it being based off of a true story for real, does help because it is something that happens. I think around the same time too, we got that movie Antebellum that came out.
Yeah, I did think about that.
Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
So I don't remember which one came first. I feel like Antebellum did, or I knew of Antebellum
I feel like Antebellum
first.
came first too. And I feel like Antebellum came straight to streaming, whereas Alice had like a limited release in theaters.
Right. Yeah, Antebellum definitely I think was straight to streaming. If it went to theaters, I think because it came out closer to COVID, it probably did both.
Yeah.
Because Alice was 2022. I think Antebellum was like 2020, if not 2021. But it didn't make me think of that film. Similar concepts, but completely different. I think in making me think of it, Antebellum had certain elements that just were like the structuring of the story and the delivery of it was more successful. But that's because there was like how it wanted to set up the gag and the reveal of what was happening in that story. And then what the plot twist, because it was kind of like a double plot twist in that film. Yeah. This film really just had the one.
Right.
But yeah, we see her on the farm, plantation really.
Yeah.
And we see them working, the family. We see like a secret wedding that happens with her. And I think some of it was just very obscure. You know what I mean? Like, him not wanting her to get married. Him going after her husband and stuff like that. It's stuff that really did happen, but it didn't take a whole lot of time to like explain who they were as characters and stuff like that, and their family dynamic and how things were. So that kind of for me was like, and then I actually didn't like that part of the farm and the brothers and everything, just because I was like, yeah, but are you trying to say that now that like the idea to me that it was trying to push was also that black people in America, African Americans, now have like some type of like footing above immigrants or other minorities, which to a degree you could say, you could make the argument, but in 2026, no, like we're still on the same playing field. And then as far as race relation goes and what that dynamic looked like, it's still very much in a lot of places, you know, black people are still the minority. Black people are still being antagonized by many other race groups. So, and because it made me think while I was watching it, it took me out of it just a bit. But ultimately, I do think it was successful. It stuck the landing for me. And overall, as a concept and as a story, it was great. It being a true story is absurd and ridiculous.
It is gut wrenching, and I can certainly see what you're saying about just like, you know, the animosity of the plantation owner.
Yeah.
Like towards, but I mean, I guess, you know, it's already atrocious anyway. So do you really need a reason? But they didn't really like set you up to know why he was being so cruel. But long story short, he has a thing for Alice. He's down and out because you find out too through different scenes in just the course of time that his wife left. So, you know, I don't know if he was looking at Alice before his wife left, or his wife left because he was looking at Alice. I feel like his wife left and then he started like looking at Alice, and he knows that she had this wedding, you know, best they can do for a marriage as quote unquote slaves. Yeah. So that's just like, oh well, that guy has a target on his back. Joseph. Yeah. Has a target on his back for that. But yeah, they didn't really give you too much like context. It just kind of throws you in, and you just, you know, you find out as you find out. But yeah. We're jumping on to acting and dialogue. As mentioned, this stars Keke Palmer. We have Gaius Charles as Joseph, who is her husband. He's been in a few things, maybe some things you may know, because he did look familiar to us, but we couldn't quite place him. He was in Friday Night Lights, Taken, The Walking Dead, Dead City, Pan Am, Grey's Anatomy, Salt. And those are the things that are coming up top. So he might just have one of those faces, but I feel like I've seen him somewhere else.
Grey's, I've definitely seen him for sure.
And see, I've never watched Grey's, so I don't know. But he's here as Joseph. We have Common as Frank. He finds or discovers or runs into Alice as she's fleeing. And so that kind of kicks off their whole storyline there. Yeah. And other than that,
probably the first role that Common took where he's not the damn bald-headed ass villain.
Oh.
You know,
he was still bald-headed, but he wasn't a villain.
He wasn't a villain.
So yeah. For the acting and dialogue, I gave this a 10 as well. There's some great monologues here, done by Keke Palmer. Yeah. The one in the diner.
The diner scene is one of the best parts of the film, which helped me to boost my score for sure.
Yeah, I think it was really good. I love when she's like, I got a game plan. I'm gonna need some more books. I'm like, all right. Because, you know, like her initial, like, her thing, you know, like sometimes when you get a game plan, you start grabbing firearms. You start grabbing, like, weapons. Right. And I like that hers was like, I'm gonna need some more books. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay.
I understand. Yeah.
It's that, you know, that type of thing. Yeah. And hers, when she went, Common takes her to go see Coffee, starring Pam Grier. And her, like, she just did so much without saying anything. Mm-hmm. Like, her watching the movie. Yeah. It was, you saw all the emotion and everything of what life could be and how strong you can be. And yeah, I thought that was really good. Another good line I had was, doing the right thing is never wrong. I always thought it was good. So, yeah, it was good for me.
Okay, for sure.
What did you give it?
I give it a 9.
Okay.
I give it a 9. I do think that there were some great lines for sure. Really, all of which came from Keke Palmer.
Absolutely.
My one critique with Keke was like, because her character had to like scream a lot. It's like if you watch Nope, you can see the evolution of her being able to really deliver like that, more of like a gut-wrenching, convincing, yelling scream.
Screaming ain't easy.
From this to that. It really isn't.
People take it for granted because there's a lot of screaming going on these movies and TVs. Yeah. But screaming ain't easy.
Yeah. And she had to do it like multiple times. Really, it was one scene that showed twice, but she at least did it like 2 times.
I feel like 2 or 3 times, she had to scream. Yeah.
I did ding some things really just for like the slave master wasn't for me as compelling and as you saying shit for saying it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't really.
You didn't believe that he was a slave master?
I don't believe he was saying the things that he was saying for the reason he was saying them, or he knew why he was saying it.
Okay.
To me. Okay. It was kind of like some of the lines were very like, we have to get to here. and I'm supposed to say this, and I'm gonna say it. And I felt like that too with Common Ass too. One part for sure, and I exclaimed and I cussed his ass out. It was he was supposed to go with her, and he made some excuse.
Yeah.
For like not backing.
He wasn't ready for that. He wasn't ready for that.
And I was like, girl, not this. And again, I can't put it on the actor 100%. I could say it's the dialogue in the writing.
Yeah.
I've seen Common in a lot of stuff, so I'm inclined to say that it was the particular dialogue as it was written. But there were a lot of good lines, like, you know, that thing that you mentioned about Alice saying, like, I need more books. Her coming out of the theater and just being like, she wasn't real, was she?
Yeah, that was another good monologue.
What the message was, you know, her being able, because she knows English, but because of how she was, you know, raised on that plantation, it is more broken and just like proper syntax and sentence structure without it sounding like, you know, like she was putting on. She was very believable, so I gave points for that for sure.
Yeah.
When they got married, you know, they said, till distance do us part.
Oh, that's true. They did say that.
Because, you know, it looks like, and the understanding was they didn't really kill a whole lot of them, but they definitely beat and tortured them.
Yeah.
And they had no problem with, like, moving them. And that was a big reality for a lot of slaves as well, living on plantations, where before you die, you may just be separated, sold to another plantation, and never see your family again.
What happened to any of them.
You know, it definitely made me think of those books, which I have always wanted to go back to, but also at this age, I feel like it would be too devastating, and it would honestly probably just infuriate me. But like The Land, Rolling Thunder, you know those books?
Maybe you've told me about them before, but I don't think I've ever seen them.
My predominantly black elementary school was like, hey girly,
hey there,
let me show y'all what slavery is, and like read these books. And there's like a series of like books that talk about that, and like working the plantation to one day get land, and having your own cabins, not being able to stay in the house, and having your own slave quarters, and, you know, getting your 40 acres and a mule and what that looks like. And, you know, that this story really made me think about those books that we read.
Yeah.
And then, like, they were really just crazy and out of control. Like, they had their own church on the premises.
Yeah.
And him talking about it, like, you know, oh, it's time to multiply. Yeah. And it's like, it brought light to, just touched on it, some of the traumas that went down. And I actually gave it more of a point, because no hard R's were said.
That is true.
Thank God. And then we're going to talk about cinematography, but no whips were shown.
That's true.
And I give points to cinematography for that as well. But yeah, acting and
for
dialogue,
sure.
I ended up with a 9.
Nice. So yeah, I do want to point out, I learned that like May Louise, her family worked for like 3 different white families. So that's kind of alluded to here too. Whether the church people just coming in, they got everything on property. Because this is a very hush-hush situation, because, you know, slavery been over.
Yeah.
So yeah, they work for 3 different families. And so that's, you know, he's like, he wants her to go, or he wanted to send her husband off to go impregnate some other black woman somewhere else. You know, it's a whole thing. It's a very weird, terrible, horrifying ring of people. But into cinematography. Cinematography is wild because it's just everything is so horrible. You know, this is a horrible situation, and it's just, there's no words. But I did give cinematography a 10, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they really did a crazy juxtaposition with the plantation. They, like, the landscapes were lush. They were framed so beautiful, and the nature was everything. But it's juxtaposed to like the terror, the horror, and the horrible things that are going on here. There's a lot of great framing of the landscape and the framing of Keke Palmer as Alice, like on the plantation. There's some good slow zooms and jumps. The whole Anna Karenina of it all. You know, that was a crazy scene, and the book and everything. But then they have this switch when she finds out that it's modern day or the 70s. And everything is like super bright.
Yeah.
And you just see just how toned down and gray the plantation was as far as wardrobe and the lighting and everything.
Yeah.
Because she gets out into the real world, everything is so crisp and colorful and, you know, it's bright. It's the 70s, so it's one of the brightest eras you're going to get.
Yeah.
Another great shot of her like stepping out of the truck and then the flames of it all. Great visuals. So I give it a 10.
For sure. I gave cinematography an 8.
Mm-hmm.
I do acknowledge everything that you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was like a softer shift. I've seen more like punchier, like from muted colors to vibrant.
It's no Wizard of Oz.
Right. Well,
hold on.
That is complete. That's not black to color. But yeah, I can't remember what we watched. But there was something we watched, and if not last year, the year before, where like it happened, and then it was almost also like a sound effect of it. With this, it was the whooshing of the first car that drove by. That was like she's out in the light, and then that car drives by, and it's like, oh shit,
it's not 18.
This is now, right?
Yeah.
So that is a positive. I think it got the majority of the points from me in the depiction of the 70s, the wallpapers, the colors.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't put outfits in this one, you know, because I like the last review we did where you talked about putting wardrobe in cinematography.
Yeah.
And I'll do that unless the wardrobe helps with the characterization, which it did for Alice.
It did. She got activated.
But it also is a part of the environment and everybody, not beyond her, just like, you know, Common and his outfit, the nurse and everything like that in the hospital.
That wig.
So I think that was pretty good. There's like an interesting like pyrotechnic scene. And I was like on the fence, like, does this look believable or not? But ultimately I thought it was good. There wasn't anything that was like, for me, super, this is revolutionary, or this was something that like changed the game. It was like super visually stunning. But it was pretty great. Yeah.
I can see that.
There was anything I could ding it for.
Right.
And I think it was like pretty solid.
Yeah. With this last category, you're gonna see I struggle with my dings. Because I also gave sound design a 10. I did not set out to give this movie straight 10s.
Yeah.
But I had my notes. And so after I organized my notes, I'm like, well, damn. So here we are. I mean, maybe at a later date, I'll revise this score. But right now, I'm giving it a 10. So 10s across the board. For sound design, I mean, they, again, back to the plantation. As harrowing and terrible as the plantation is, it did a lot there. And like the sounds of nature, like down to the creaks of floorboards. The score is crazy. And the musical choices, the needle drops are also crazy. You got the screeching saxophones and drums in the score. Y'all know I love a good needle drop. We got Nobody Knows by who is this? T.L. Barrett and the Youth for Christ Choir. That was a tongue twister for me. We got Reflections by Diana Ross for the makeover montage. We got Think by Lynn Collins. I mean, they were giving me everything I needed. Clearly. But I thought the sound design was really good. The choice of music was good. And the way she was on the phone and talking to the different ladies. I mean, that sound design too. It was just it was a good time.
Yeah. And speaking to you right now, I revised mine from a 9 to I'll give it a 10.
Okay.
I think normally I give 10s for big music moments or original scores that I find impactful. But I will say it did take the sounds of the past, and it was very important in developing. And what actually pushed it over a 10 for me is the scenes. Yes, the videos were there that she saw the visuals, but a lot of it, we got to see her, Alice, Keke Palmer, react to watching and we just got like the audio overview of Foxy Brown talking.
I need to go watch Coffee sometime soon.
Yeah. Of the news, you know, watching a lot of the news talk about what's different and what's changed. Her listening to music for the first time, the crackling of the radio when she's in the car, and things clicking and coming together for her, you know, the sounds of the TV, and you know, it's just a different sound with like old technology versus today. And then even the thing like, you know, they kind of played with it with the boy in his room
and the radio.
I wish
they would have leaned into that, but I mean, I feel like the trailer probably lets you know that they're not really in 1800s.
Yeah, because I remembered pretty much like this is gonna be something like
a gag.
Yeah, it reminded me. I know it was gonna be like Antebellum, but I couldn't remember to what degree.
But they played around with that too. The static and everything and the sound of that.
Yeah, but they could have used it. They could have used a radio to like, because she's never heard of that, like a radio, that type of technology. She could have been hearing stuff in the house and think that the house was haunted.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They could have leaned into it.
Something.
If they wanted to, they could have leaned more into that, and then you don't find out until the very end that it's 1970 something. You know, that's like little stuff like that with the way that sounds, like spirits and stuff, and that whole story. A man came from the sky. He can make fire in his hand. Yeah. Like, you know, weird stuff like that, and then the old woman's like, there's a whole thing out there, you know? Yeah. They really could have leaned into that. I'm kind of happy that they didn't know, because that's a whole movie of anguish. It means you'd have had no more slave shit.
Well, what would you say that?
Because you would have to linger there. You wouldn't find out until the very, very end, like the last 10 minutes, in my mind, that they were in 1973.
No.
You don't want that.
It could have been the same exact thing. They could have had speakers out there, like how they did for the Blair Witch. And think about if they were using technology on a race of people that's never known technology and trying to use their own beliefs and spirituality against them to confuse them, right? And make them think that it's spirits, make them think that there's things out there in the woods and they're only safe on the plantation. It's kind of giving The Village. It is. But it would have been done better.
It would have been, but this plantation owner ain't that smart.
No, he was a dumbass, fake-ass bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Any other, what was your ultimate score? Mine was a 10. 10 down the board.
Mine ultimate was an 8.75.
Not bad.
No. Yeah. And
we highly recommend.
Absolutely. And what I will say is, I think that this film is a good adaptation of a truly horrific true story that can be used as a good mouthpiece for, you know, some Black history. You know, she had to go through some things. There's a lot of Black people that don't know about Blaxploitation. That don't know about Blackula and Coffee and who Foxy Brown is.
Exactly.
You know? And there's still a lot of Black people who are born free who just have no connection or understanding of Malcolm X. I love that Malcolm X was in this one. This really wasn't about a peaceful approach. It's great that we started Black History Month with a movie that featured Martin Luther King very heavily,
wow, that's so
and
true.
Then we ended on a Blaxploitation inspired film. And I love that, you know, she got her retribution. She put hands on some people. And she was a fighter. You know, no matter what, Alice was a fighter through and through. And you got to see that evolution, because she started off definitely more timid and afraid, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you've been raised and like beat into that.
Exactly.
So, she had so far to go, but she did it.
Yeah. So definitely we say take a look at this film.
Absolutely.
And then watch it for yourself and see how the movie ends. Let us know what you think of the finale. Comment below, have you seen Alice? And then again, make sure you take a listen. We dropped a slew of videos last week. We had a movie review on Monday, a Wildcard Wednesday, that past Wednesday with our first ever listicle, Top Black Sitcom theme song.
Correct.
And then we also had a Reddit Reads that came out on Friday. And yeah, check us out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Absolutely. So happy to have done our first Black History Month with you guys. Of course, we'll still be watching Black stuff. Absolutely. Black projects. But we really wanted to focus and really hammer that home this month. And yeah, we had some great things to watch this month, and it's been great to share this with you guys.
Absolutely, and we're super excited to continue to have more theme things as the month goes by.
Absolutely.
This ends the second month of season 2, technically.
Yeah.
We have one more month to go with March.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And also we officially hit 5,000 views.
5,500
views. Go ahead. All right. We love and appreciate every single view, every single share that you guys have done. And we're working right now where on-camera videos
they are coming. They are coming.
Working out the
Perhaps by the end of the season.
Perhaps by the end of the season. But for sure, by season 2, we'll be on camera.
Oh, okay. Well, we're in season 2 now.
Beginning of season 3, we'll be on camera.
And
love you.
Love you. Bye.